I started YouTube filming on my phone, and it was enough until actually my phone became my camera, my notes, my calls, my B-roll device, and my storage problem at the same time. So I made one small upgrade, not a mirrorless camera because I can afford that, a small action camera. And it took so much pressure off my phone. So in this video, I actually want to show you exactly how I decide when your phone is truly enough and when it's quietly become a bottleneck, and how this little camera works in my real setup, inside, outside, and pair with my tiny mic. And by the end, you'll know if you're ready for this upgrade or if your phone is still enough right tool for you. First, I want to say this very clearly. If your phone is working for you right now, please keep using your phone. If people can see you clearly, hear you clearly, and your shot is stable enough to watch, you already have a real starting point. And a better camera will not fix a bad light, it will not fix audio, which is hard to hear, and it will not fix a setup, which makes you avoid filming. But here's the part what I don't hear people talk enough. When you create your videos, your phone is usually everything else. Mine was my scripts, my notes, my calls, my work, my screen check, my ideas, and sometimes my analytics spiral too. And look, this is the main problem right here. The second my phone goes on this tripod as my main camera, everything else is basically locked inside. So my notes are in there, my messages are in there, and if I want to film something like a quick B-roll shot on my desk, for example, and this is my only main camera, it's already busy. I can't touch any of it without stopping the whole take. And then there was a memory. I was constantly moving files to my computer just to clear the space, and then I would want to make something quick like Instagram reel or short on my phone, and the video was already on the computer, so I needed to move files back. And then it just felt like too much pressure from a device that was supposed to help me. So the first upgrade I wanted was not a better image quality. I want to have less friction. And that's why I didn't jump to a mirrorless camera. And honestly, I couldn't. So this is a part what gets skipped, so let's name it. When you actually start a YouTube, everything asks for your money at the same time. Editing software, thumbnails, tools, gear, plus you have the pressure of filming, the pressure of learning everything at once, and it just feels like complete disaster in your head. So here's my situation, and I would love to have a mirrorless camera one day. And if you have a budget, I'm all for it. But I just can't afford one right now. I even started saving money for one, and then different opportunity came up where that money actually made more sense. And hopefully I can touch on that in one of my next videos. And I knew I still needed to invest into my microphone, lighting, overall setup. So the camera, as much as I wanted it, it wasn't at the top of that list. And whatever I got actually needed to do two jobs, inside and outside. Because sometimes I can film outside, sometimes with Gani, and if he pulls, real life is not gentle. I didn't want something fragile I could be scared to touch. And as you can see, this is a whole camera, and most of the action cameras, they build like a tank. And that was the biggest reason why I got this one. It fits in my pocket, I'm not scared to drop it, and I can take it with me basically anywhere. So I film most of my videos on this one DJI Action 5 camera. And then I also use the DJI Action 6 camera as my main support, but you also don't need to have two cameras like I have. And one small dedicated camera is actually enough. And I wanted a camera that I could actually use, not a camera I would be scared to touch. So let me actually show you how it works. So inside where action cameras could look a little bit more tricky because they're more built for movement and wider shots. So if there's like too close to your face or the room is a little bit more dark, then it looks too wide, too sharp, and maybe not the way you kind of expected. So for me inside, it basically comes down to three things. It's light, angle, and the audio. And here where I place the camera so it does not feel distorted at all, so light is still comes at me. And audio is where I have small wireless microphone what changes everything. So now I basically have a tiny camera, I have a better sound, and my phone basically stays free for any noise or wherever I need in the moment. And here's a practical thing from my real setup. So I have two mics, and I actually love my Mic Mini more than I even love my Mic 3. And each mic, they actually stayed paired to its own camera. And the different windscreens on me, that's how I remember who is who. So I'm never repairing anything mid-shot. And you only need one mic and one camera, and also little systems like that saving you from fighting your gear. And real quick inside with the proper light, that's exactly how I ran my camera. So exposure and white balance I usually leave on auto, then color and tone are usually normal. Then we also have ICO, which I ran from like 100 to 1600, and then I bring EV, which is exposure compensation, down to minus 0.3, so it does not blow out the light, which I already got right here. And also I do noise reduction and texture both. They pull down to -2 for just, a little bit more cleaner look. I also do horizon balance on normal. I also add a little bit of grid to my camera, so it's easy for me to see how I'm in focus. I also have a standard dewarp, so it does not look so white or like you don't really have that fishy eye look. And I'm also shooting at 4K, 16:9, 30 frames per second. There's no zoom, and the lens actually sits around 17mm equivalent. And that's it. I'm not going through every single menu because this video is more about the decision, and I'll save the full settings breakdown for its own video. And outside, everything makes sense about this whole setup because it's small, it's light, and I'm not carrying some fragile, huge rig around with me. I can just easily put it in my pouch, clip it to my fanny pack, and I'm ready to go for a walk. And outside, it gives you more options than people expect because you can film 16:9 for YouTube, you can flip it vertical just for shorts, or you can also use 4:3 mode, and that one records with extra room. So from a single clip, you can crop and have a horizontal video or maybe a vertical short later on. And sometimes I'm walking, sometimes I'm with Gani, and I just want to have something where I can shoot a quick B-roll without turning it into production. So something grab and go, light and easy, and start filming your videos. So outside, I would just probably adjust a little bit, mostly exposure and ICO, because the daylight kind of changes everything. But the core setup stays the same. So we have white balance on, we have dewarp on, and horizon balance on. And this is exactly how it sounds out here. So I have my camera right there. My microphone is doing the audio, and my phone is in my pocket. And also real quick, if this is helping you to think through your own setup, a quick like helps this video to reach more beginner creators, and that's completely optional. So stay with your phone if it's still helping you to film. If you're learning how to talk to a camera, filming in one place, and just buying a gear would just delay you. There's nothing wrong with filming on your phone. And then consider a small action camera if your phone has too many jobs, if you need to free it for notes, for calls, and just for life. And if you also want to quick B-roll, and if you also film inside and outside, and if you want something durable you can actually use, and then consider mirrorless camera later on when you know your style, when you want that look and that specific control, and when you're ready for the cost and the learning curve. And I'm not saying that action cameras are better. I'm just saying that that could be a very reasonable middle step. So the best first camera is not most impressive camera. It's the one that removes friction from the way you actually create. And if you want to know what actually matters more than buying expensive gear, you can watch this video next. It will help you to get going without overthinking. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one.